In the Easter services in the Orthodox Church, a letter is read out from St John Chrysostom, and it's highly relevant to today. At the beginning of it, he says, "Let all pious men and all lovers of God rejoice in the splendour of this feast. Let the wise servants blissfully enter into the joy of their Lord. Let those who've borne the burden of Lent from the beginning receive their pay. Let those who've toiled from the first hour, let them receive their due reward. Let those who came from the third hour be grateful to join the feast, and those who may have come at the sixth hour, let them not be afraid of being too late, because the Lord is gracious and he receives the last even as the first," and so on. It's a very significant idea that it's never too late to recognize what is right. So even if those people in Russia are now fleeing Russia, are now recognizing that Putin, their dictator, is wrong, that's good. They shouldn't be criticized for coming so late to a full understanding of what their leader is capable of. They shouldn't be discouraged from leaving the country. They shouldn't be discouraged from setting out what they think is right and what they think is wrong. Thank God they've finally come to that realization. Thank God. And today, Putin is meeting Erdogan. He looks very nervous. He looks very anxious. And is it possible that Erdogan can negotiate some sort of peace, some sort of truce between Russia and Kyiv? Well, not a truce that allows Putin to go off and regroup and revamp his shoddy weaponry so that he can attack again in the spring. That's no good. That's no good. And nor should he be rewarded with his land seizure that he engineered a couple of weeks ago. That's no good. Nor indeed should the lies persist. Of course he bombed his own pipeline, because there's a better pipeline waiting for him through Turkey. Now the lie is becoming clear. We'll soon see the same lie will become clear as further investigations take place about the Crimea Bridge. Now Armenia is investigating because there's a story that the bomb that struck the Turkish bridge, the Crimean bridge, was transported through Armenia. It makes very little sense because that would suggest it was going the other way. Putin's people have surely told us it was in the back of a truck going from Crimea to Russia. None of this makes sense because it's all predicated on propaganda and lies. And today the leader of the Russian parliament, the Duma, claimed that there are only 3 states in Ukraine that have not been showered with missile attacks. And further missiles are raining on Ukraine and Kyiv and Zaporizhia, even as Putin is trying to make the first moves towards peace in Kazakhstan. What a detestable individual he has become. Yet, it's never too late. It's never too late. And as somebody who claims to be a member of the Russian Orthodox Church should know, all he has to do is read this epistle from St John Chrysostom, and he will realize it's never too late. It's never too late. But he will be held responsible for his actions, because his actions have been criminal, illegal, and deeply wrong. He's led his people in the wrong direction. For what? Material gain. Somebody else's land. To secure his own position for the next God knows how long. Somebody today in the Duma said, "Oh, it's your cross you've got to bear. You've got to continue as president for another 4 years, President Putin. This is the cross you have to shoulder." As if he's some sort of pope. For goodness sake. For goodness sake. It's time for Putin to move away. But first we have to resolve this problem. First we have to have peace. And that means a withdrawal from the territories he's seized, a proper honest confrontation, a proper honest negotiation, a cessation of hostilities, and a recognition that Ukraine and Russia are brother nations, and indeed that Ukraine is the source of the Russian Orthodox Church and therefore of the Russian identity. There are other identities in Russia, and if Putin wishes to abandon that one, then he must choose the others. But the starting point is to come to terms with reality. The reality is peace is the only ultimate option. He has to negotiate at some point. Mr. Erdogan is offering one option, one version of that negotiation. I hope he takes it.